Okay, so we are going to see an interesting topic today, which is what the Java switch statement. Okay, so you can use this switch statement as an alternative for the if-else ladder statement. So we have discussed about this if-else if ladder statement, right? So this switch statement can be can be used as an alternative to the if-else ladder statement. But if you ask me how these statements are going to work, so there is a different approach to understand the switch statement. It is not just similar to if-else ladder statement. So let me give you some theory. Okay, the theory says you want to execute one statement from multiple conditions. Okay, there will be n number of conditions. Okay, if you want to execute only one statement from the given n number of conditions, then you can go for switch statement as well. Okay, the first point is what you want to execute the statement from multiple conditions. Okay, then you can use switch statements. It's a very clear. This is a very simple definition, right? And the you must also understand something like it is just similar to if-else if ladder statement. The second point we have got to know what is if-else if ladder statement. It is just similar to that. I can say that the switch statement is similar to if else if ladder, right? And the third point is very important. The switch statement can work with the data types like the switch statement is going to work with data types like it works with the data types like byte, short, integer, character, string, etc. So there are some data types where the switch statement is not going to support. So you must aware of those data types. Okay, some data types where you cannot use that in the switch statement, and those data types are as the switch statement does not work with few data types. Does not work with few data types. Okay. So long data type does not support for the switch statement, and you have a data type like float. It does not support float data type. It does not support double data type, and it does not support Boolean data type. So you cannot use these data types, in this switch statement. First of all, what is the switch statement that we will understand. So these are the ideal things that you should remember when it comes to what? When it comes to the switch statement. So let me give you the syntax first. The syntax. Okay, the syntax is like, okay, you use the switch keyword, guys. You use the switch keyword, okay, and this switch keyword is going to accept an expression. Okay, and followed by there is going to be a block. But very simple. Use the switch keyword, and which is going to accept an expression. Okay, and followed by a block, and this block is called as what? The switch block. The switch block. Okay, and again inside the switch block you can have multiple conditions. Inside the switch block, what else you can have? You can have multiple conditions or multiple statements, I can say. Okay. You can have multiple conditions or statements inside the switch block. The statements can be like, again, there you need to follow some guidelines to define the statements. The guidelines are like, okay, you will define the statements in the form of cases. There is a keyword called case keyword. Okay, you can pass the value here. Okay, this is the specialized keyword. Okay, this is a case keyword. Okay, and you can pass a value here. Okay, let us say that the value is 1. and there is a semicolon, okay, and followed by what? Followed by the break statement. Okay. You will understand this better when I start executing the code. So this is the typical syntax. You have case value to break, and you have something like a default keyword, right? And this default keyword is going to have a statement where the a kind of statement, when the switched conditions are not getting satisfied, the default statement is going to get executed. Okay, I can say that if all the above conditions are left unsatisfied, right, then what happens? Then the default statement gets executed. The statement under the default keyword gets executed. Or else I can say that the default statements gets executed. Okay, so now look at the syntax once again. Okay, so this is a syntax. And when I say cases, it is not like you can have only two cases, guys. It's not like you can only have two cases. You can have n number of cases. You can have what? N number of cases. Okay, so for the simplicity, I am just keeping the two cases. Okay, when I say case and I am saying what? Value, this value, okay, this is not equal, value 1 and value 2. Okay, case is a keyword, value 1, and case is a keyword, value 2. So this is the syntax. Okay, switch statement is going to accept an expression, and there is going to be a block for this switch statement, and this block is called as switch block. Inside this you can have number of cases. This is the syntax to represent the case, and there will be a default case at the last. So having said this, let us execute a small piece of code to understand this better. Okay, let me delete all this. Okay. Now see, I want to take a variable, guys. I want to take a variable integer a equal to 10. I am taking. Okay. Now what I am doing, I want to use what? I want to use the switch statement. Okay. Switch statement is going to have a block. First, remember, it is going to have a block, and it is going to accept an expression. So inside this expression, I am just keeping the variable name a here. Okay. It is going to accept an expression. Now for the time being, I am taking the variable expression. I am passing this variable a inside here. This is called as what? This is called as an variable expression. But inside the switch statement, I should have what? Cases, right? For the time being, I am taking the cases case 10, okay, semicolon. I want to print something like system.out.println. Okay. So case 10 is, let me take it as, let me print something like, okay, case 10 executed, right? And I'm placing the break statement. Okay. Now case 20, okay, case 20 executed. I am keeping the break statement. Okay, I'm not going to take the default statement now for the time being. Okay, let me add the default statement also. Let me add the default statement also. Default. Okay. System.out.println. Default case executed. Okay, let me execute this. Let me execute. Now go back to the syntax. Okay, this is the syntax we have. Okay, in between the case as well as in between the break and the case, you can write your statements. You can write any number of statements. It depends upon the business requirement. For the time being, I am just using the system.out.println to check whether the control is getting into this particular cases. Okay, now focus here. Let me run this code. Java C space a dot Java, and you have Java space here. You are getting what? Case 10 executed. Actually, what is happening behind the scenes is, it is very self-explanatory, guys. If I just paste it in the paint screen, just understand the execution flow, then we will solve some problems on this. First of all, we'll understand the execution flow. Okay, this is the program. Okay, so always what happens, you have the main thread gets created by the JVM. Okay, main thread will try to get access to the main method, and all the executions from the main method will get executed. So what is the first statement that we have inside the main method? This is the main method. What is the first statement? First statement is a value is getting assigned to the variable a. A value 10 is getting assigned to the variable a. So behind the scenes you have what? You have something like 10 is assigned to the variable a, right? And what is the second instruction? First instruction is done. Second instruction. Okay, the main thread has found what? The switch statement, which is accepting an variable expression. Okay, here you are using a variable called a. Okay, it is going to fetch the value inside the variable a. What is the value inside the variable a? You have the value 10. Okay, now it will consider this 10, and this 10 will be mapped to the respective case. 10 will get mapped to the respective case. What do I mean? We have 10 here. It will check all the cases which is holding the value 10. Okay? You have case 10 here. So directly there is what? There is a match here. There is a match here. Okay, this control will be mapped to this case directly. Okay, this control will be mapped to this respective case directly, and all the instructions inside this case will be executed. Well, there is only one instruction for the time being. I have kept only one instruction. What is that? System.out.println, and I want to execute what? Case 10 executed. It has to get displayed in the console. We take this as a console, and we get what? Case 10 executed. Now what happens after this line execution? Now what happens? Okay, it is encountering the in another statement called the break statement. Okay, break statement. So the moment it encounters the break statement, it is just like the control will be kicked out of the switch block. The control will be terminated from the switch block. What do I really mean? What is the switch block? What is the switch block that I am talking about? When I say switch block, so this is the switch block. Okay, this is the actual switch block. The moment it encounters the break statement, this is going to get terminated from the switch block, which means it will just come outside of the switch block. And since there are no more instructions, the main thread will get what? The main thread will also get terminated. Hope you have understood this. Let us see another problem. Okay, let me increase some complexity here. Have you understood this? Type S in the chat box if you have understood this execution flow. Yes, no, everyone answer me. Hello. What about others? Only Puri?
Yes.
Okay. What about others? Everyone
Yes,
type yes
sir.
in the chat box. Monica is there. Dinesh is there. Teja is there. Everyone type. Okay then. See, now you see, let us increase the complexity. So now I am saying, okay, I am saying something like 20. So I have assigned a value 20 to the variable a. Okay. Now can you tell me, with the explanation that I have just given to you, can you just analyze, what would be the output in the console if I start running this code? Anyone? Any answers? So want me to explain it once again? Huh? Can speak if
Case
you
20 will be executed.
20 will be executed, right? So now see, you have the number 20 here, right? This number 20 is going to get passed as an expression in the switch statement 20, right? This 20 will be mapped to the respective case. So you have 20, this is 10, so you have 20, the 20 is getting mapped to the respective case. All the instructions inside this respective case will get executed. For the time being, I have just placed only one instruction. So the answer is going to be what? Answer is going to be, case 20 gets executed. So this is what you get in the console. After this, the main thread will encounter the break statement. When it is encountering the break statement, don't you think that the control will be terminated out of the switch statement? Isn't it? So output is what? Case 20 gets executed. Let me execute this. Case 20 get executed. Let me increase the complexity. I am just saying now 30, a equal to 30. Okay, I'm placing a typical statement to understand the control flow. Okay, 1. Instead of this, I'm taking a 2. Instead of this, let me take it as 3. Okay, let me remove this. And outside the switch block, I want to add another statement, and I want to say it as what? Let me take it as what? 4. Okay, let me take it as. Okay. Now, if I execute, anyone can answer. If you know, you can answer. Else, I will explain this for you. What would be the value in the console? Anyone? Any idea what will be the answer in the console? Execute this.
4, 5.
4, 5. Correct. 4, 5. So why 4, 5? Let us go through the explanation. Java C space a dot Java, Java space a. 1, 4, 5. You have missed 1 also because 1 is outside the switch block. Okay, the control, the main thread is going to execute this instruction. Then it is going to, execute this switch statement, isn't it? So let me start tracing this. I'm going to trace this for the last time. Please pay attention. Everyone pay attention. Dinesh Kumar, you have joined little late. You also please pay attention. Okay, now, so main thread is going to get access to the main method. All instructions will be executed from top to bottom order. Right? First instruction is what? A equal to 30. Always try to take pen and paper and practice the program like this. Okay? Take pen and paper and practice a program like this. So 30 will be assigned to the variable A. Variable A. Right? Now the next instruction is what? So it has found the system.out.println statement. So the 1 has to get displayed in the console. If this is the console, the 1 will be displayed. Okay. Now next one is what? It has encountered the switch statement, which has an expression of what? It has an expression of a variable. Your the switch statement is going to execute the value inside that variable, which is what? 30. 30 is the value inside that variable. So in the memory you have 30, right? So 30 will be taken by this. Okay, it will try to map the exact case. Okay, it will try to map the exact case. So 10 is not matching, 20 is also not matching, right? 30, there is no 30. Okay? If it is not finding the exact mapping, it is not finding the exact value, then it will do what? Then it will try to execute the default case. If it has found the exact match, then no issues, the exact case will be executed. If not, the default case will come into the picture here. Here the default case will come into the picture, and all the instructions inside the default case will get executed. Fortunately there is only one instruction, so you have what? 4 will be displayed in the console. Okay. After that, it is going to get terminated. It is going to come out of the switch block, and outside the switch block you have a statement called, you have a system.out.println statement called 5. So 5 will be displayed in the console. Okay, so this is not about this statement, and there are some scenarios where you need to pay some attention on the few more scenarios. When I say few more scenarios, if I ask you, is this break statement is mandatory or an optional? If you get a question like, sir, should I use the break statement? Is it mandatory or is it an optional thing? I would say the break statement is completely optional. What happens if I don't use the break statement? Question is, what happens if I don't use the break statement? So this is one of the interview questions. Stay focused. I'm removing all the break statements, okay? And to increase some complexity, what I'm trying to do, okay, I will add few more cases here. Case 30 I'm taking, and case 40 I'm taking. Case 40. And that is, I'm going to keep the default case just like that. I have now 4 cases: case 20, case 30, case 20, 10, 20, 30, 40. So here what I'm trying to do, I want to assign the value 20 to the variable A. Can anyone try what would be the output? What are the insights about this? What are the thoughts about this? Or do you want me to explain this? Now let us see the answer first, then we will try to understand. According to us, what is the matching case? What is the matching case? 20 as the matching case number, right? So 20 will get mapped here, right? According to us, these has to get executed. According to us, the value 3 has to be displayed, or 1 has to be displayed first, second 3 has to get displayed, then it will come out of the, the main thread gets terminated and kicked out of the switch block, right? that will happen only if you're using the break statement. But you're not using break statement. What will be the what would be the situation now? How the main thread is going to, look into the remaining cases. Okay, let me execute this code first. Java C space a dot Java space a. We're getting 1 3 3 3 4 5. We're getting what? 1 3 3 3 4 5. Why this is happening? Let us trace this. Now focus here. Now see what happens. As usual, the main thread gets generated. Main thread gets access to the main method. And first instruction is what? First instruction is 20. Right? Now you see 20 gets assigned to the variable A. A is the variable which is going to keep the value 20. Okay, the very next instruction is, you can understand the system.out.println value 1 will be printed in the console. Okay, this statement is also completed. Executing this statement is also completed. Okay, next statement is the actual switch statement, which is accepting an expression. What is that expression? The A. What is A? A is what? A as a value 20 inside. Okay. Now this 20 will be mapped to the respective case. So 10 is matching. It is not matching. Now you have to say case what? 20 here. It is matching. Yes, it is matching. Right. As soon as it found the exact match, okay, the control will be sent to that particular case. All the instructions inside the case will get executed. But fortunately, we have only one instruction, which is what? Which is 3. But the main thread is not encountering any break statement here. When you do break statement, it is like terminating the main thread out of the switch block. But you are not using the break statement here. Break statement is missing. Whenever the break statement is missing, as soon as it finds the first match, as soon as it finds the exact match, all the remaining statements will also, all the remaining cases will also get executed. Each and every remaining case will be executed. This is the weird behavior of what? Weird behavior of the main thread. Because you are not keeping the break statement. When you don't keep the break statement, the main thread will behave differently, which means it will execute all the cases. So case 20 is it has an instruction called 3 gets displayed in the console, and you have case 30, and again these 3 will get displayed in the console. Okay, since you are not doing keeping the break statement, remaining statement will be executed sequentially, no matter if the case is matching or not matching. As soon as it has found the first ideal matched case, the remaining cases will get executed sequentially, because you are not using the break statement. You are not stopping this main thread, to be kicked out of what? Kicked out of the switch block. Okay, and you have what? You have another 3 here. Okay, and you have what? At last, it will also execute the default statement also. The statements inside the default keyword, which is what? 4. Right, and also you have what? 5. Okay, you have 1 3 3 4 5 matching. Everyone, are you understanding now? Have you understood what did I actually do? Okay, let us do some more problems. Try to answer this, okay, with the knowledge that I have given to you. Let me say that I am taking the 10 year. Let me say that I am taking the 10 year. So I am typically using the break statement under the case 30. So under this particular case, I wanted to place a break statement. Okay. Now, can you tell me, always remember one thing, the moment the main thread is encountering this break statement, the control will be kicked out of the what? The switch block. Okay, now you tell me, take that as an that as a tip, and just try to tell me what would be the answer in the console. Anyone?
1 2 3 3.
1 2 3 3. Are you sure?
1 2 3 3 5.
Correct. 1 2 3 3 5. Because okay, I think you are not seeing this. Okay, there is another statement outside the switch block. Okay, so ideally the answer has to be what? 1 2 3 3 and 5. Good. Java C space a dot Java space a. So 1 2 3 3. Are you getting this, everyone? Do you want me to do further tracing? Dinesh Kumar, Revati, Puri, Rekhan, Teja. Answer. Dinesh has also already answered. Okay. Now let me do one more thing. Let me increase the complexity. Now tell me the answer. Anyone?
145.
1?
145.
Good. 145. Correct. Because this one is outside the switch block that gets executed, right? And you have the value 100 assigned to the variable A. So the switch is going to find for the case 100 here. So there is no case 100. You have 10, you have 20, 30, 40, but there is 100 is missing here. So the default case gets executed. If I keep 40 here, what would be the answer?
135.
What is it?
1345.
1,
3.
3, 4, 5. Good. 1, 3, 4, 5. Correct. Java C space A dot Java space 1, 3, 4, 5. Right. So break. Okay, this break is what you are supposed to think. Okay, it is an optional, but you cannot keep keep a case without the break statement. If you are keeping a case without the break statement, then the behavior is going to be very much weird. So ideally you need to follow the syntax. So this is what happens when you don't follow the syntax. So when you don't follow the syntax, it is not like the compiler will throw an error. It will not throw an error, but ideally the output is going to get affected. So what is the actual theory that I have said? Okay, it has to execute what? If you want to execute a statement from multiple conditions. So our idea is that we need to execute only one statement out of multiple conditions. So that is our requirement. If you want to keep that requirement, okay, and if you want to ensure that the code is actually meeting this requirement, you should use the proper syntax. If there is any violation in the syntax, the behavior is going to be what? Weird. It is not like, it is similar to if else later statement, but not exactly. Even if else if later statement, you cannot have any kind of violations there. You can use return keyword there. You can use, we have discussed about the return keyword there, but violation wise, it is very difficult to do a kind of violation, but lot of violations will happen in the switch statement. You should be very much careful. Okay, now let us do a little bit deep dive into the switch statement. Okay, when I say expression, okay, what are the things that you need to focus on, especially when you are dealing with the switch statement? Okay, now Java switch expression. Okay, so you have what? Which, let me take it in black. This which is a keyword, so it has to be in the small lowercase letter. Expression, it will accept an expression. Okay, and let me take, for the time being, let me take only two cases. Case 1, okay, system dot out dot. So we are preparing the cheat code. Okay, how to remember all these things, and what are the possible violations, and what are the mistakes that you are going to make. Okay, case 1 statement, and you have what? You have case 2. Case 2 statement, and I am keeping a what? I am keeping something like a default case, a default state. Default statement. Okay, now listen to this. Let me keep break here. Let me also keep break here. Okay, so let us talk about the expression. So when I say expression, what kind of expressions that you can keep for the switch statement. What kind of expression it is going to accept? Okay, so ideally when I say expression, let me go back to the code. Let me remove all this. Let me take case 1, system.out.println case 1 break. Okay, and let me also take case 2, system.out.println case 2 break. Let me take what default case. Okay, system.out.println something like, let me take 2, or else let me take 1, 2, 3. And you don't need to keep the break statement in the default block, because always remember the default keyword or default keyword has to be in the last, has to be placed in the last in the switch block. It has to come in the last. So ideally, even though if this is getting executed, right, so definitely it is going to come out of the switch block after this execution. That's why the break keyword is not mandatory in the default block. It's not required. Only it is mandatory for the cases. Right, now I am talking about the expression. I'm talking about what expression. What kind of expression the switch keyword is going to accept? Always remember the switch keyword is going to accept the variable expression. It is always going to accept what? It is always going to accept the variable expression. What do I mean by that? Okay, since the a is a kind of variable, right, and it which has a value. But what I am trying to do, if I keep a constant expression here, constant expression means a direct value. I'm passing the case directly. This is the case 1 and this is the case 2. I want to pass the case directly. If I do this, what would happen behind the scenes? You are getting, one as you are getting one as being printed in the console. Okay, I can also pass something like case 2. Okay, so the moment I place the constant expression, so the respective cases are going to get executed like similar to the variable expression. But ideally, look at the data type. So we are using the data type like something like what? Integer data type. This is a constant expression. Okay. Ideally, we are using the data type as what? Integer. Okay. The moment I do a small change here, something like, moment I am doing something like long here. Okay. So long is something like a data type that is definitely not accepted by the switch expression. Definitely it is a data type that is not accepted by the switch expression. Let me, for the timing, let me keep it as 2 only here. Okay, I am doing a. First of all, for the variable expression or for the variable or the constant expression, right, the moment you assigned the value to with respect to the long data type, okay, it is going to throw an error. What it says, incompatible type, possibly logic conversion from long to int. So ideally the switch statement says it is not going to accept what? It is not going to accept the long data type. Definitely it is not going to get accepted. Right, this is the one case. So is only the long data type that is not going to get accepted? No, there are few more data types which is not going to be accepted by the what? Switch statement. What are the remaining data types that we have? Especially, okay, you have the data types like long is not accepted. Okay, so let me use float here. Float 2.9f. Float 2.9 of I am passing the float value here. So this float value is also not accepted. Java C space a.java incompatible types. Okay, you cannot pass float, you cannot use long, and also you cannot use double, because float itself is not getting accepted. You cannot use double as well. Okay, double is also doing the possible logic conversion, right? And you cannot use also a boolean expression. Let me take a boolean expression, boolean, right? And let me take the value as true. Okay. Not compatible. So I can say that all these 4 data types are not accepted. All these 4 data types are not accepted. Okay, let me put it in. Okay. This is one of the case studies. When it comes to the expression, okay, long is not accepted, float is not accepted, double is not accepted, and boolean is not accepted. Okay, not accepted. So what are the accepted data types? You have data types like integer. Okay, from byte you can use byte is accepted. You have short is accepted, integer is accepted. Okay, and you have what character is also accepted. So I'm talking about the primitive data types which are accepted and which are not accepted. So these are the data types that is accepted by the expression. Okay, and these are the data types that is not accepted by the expression. These are the accepted data types. Right. So for the character, let me show you the example for the character data type. How I can use the character data type? Let us understand that. Okay. Character A equal to something like I'm passing A. Right. So inside the case 1, I'm using A. Inside the case 2, I'm using what? I'm using B. For the case 2, I'm using B. I mean, for the case, second case, I'm using B. For the first case, I'm using A. So I'm passing the variable expression, which is of character data type. You're passing a character A. Let me run this code. Java C space A.java, Java space A. You're able to see the output. So I can say that the accepted data types are character, integer, short, and byte. Okay, the not accepted primitive data types are what? Double, float, long, and boolean. Right. So one more thing you need to observe. Now let me take a variable expression like integer A equal to 100 guys. You are passing the variable expression here. Okay, it will accept what? It will try to do what? The cases, the respective cases, the first case as the value 100, the second case as the value 200. Instead of passing the direct constant here, if I do something like integer B equal to 100, okay, instead of the constant, if I try to pass the variable here, focus here, what is the difference that we have by passing the variable and by passing the constant? It says constant expression required. It says what? Constant expression required. What does it really mean? For each and every case, you can only pass the constant. You can only pass the constant values. It cannot accept the variable representation. So B, even though there is a value assigned to the variable B, right, you cannot keep the variable next to the case statement. It has to be a constant always. It has to be a constant always. Now tell me, okay, if this is accepted or not. So this is not accepted. Now tell me, what if I try to do this? Is it accepted or not? This is the interview question. I always said, I already said about the importance of the final keyword. Okay. We have already discussed about this. If I pass I have just said that it is going to accept only the constants value, but I'm trying to pass a variable here, and again, this variable is getting converted to the final type. Is it valid or invalid? Any idea? Valid. Do you remember I was telling you, even though you are using a variable, the moment you place the final keyword, it will be always treated as a constant. Remember or not? Everyone? Yes, no? Sudhir, Prasanna, Dinesh, do you remember this concept?
No, sir, don't remember.
Yeah, we have discussed about this in the 2 days ago. Even till here, okay, when I say integer B equal to 100, it will be a variable expression. The moment I use the final keyword, I said, no, the countries are going to be constant, the Aadhaar card number is going to be constant, right? And when we are discussing about the if else statement, I have said something like final keyword will always treat the variable as a constant. Okay? Even though you are assigning this value to the respective variable, the moment you declare this as a final with the final keyword, it will be treated as a constant. Right? That's why in this case you're not getting any error. It is getting executed comfortably. But when you start removing this final keyword, definitely it is not going to be constant anymore. Okay? So this is the variable expression. Okay? You cannot place a variable next to the case, next to the case statement. You cannot place a variable. Now in this case, you will definitely get an error. Right? Constant expression required. Previously, why you are not getting error? Because you are using the final keyword. That's why you're not getting error. Now you tell me, will you get error or not? You will not get any error. Okay. Now you tell me. Final integer, c equal to 200. Okay. Now you tell me, you will get error or you don't get error. Tell me.
No error.
No error. Don't worry about these cases. It is accepting case B, which means what is the value? This has to be replaced with the value what 100. So indirectly it is just like case 100. So this is case C, which is what 200. Indirectly it is like case 200. Case 200. But you are passing the what? You are passing a variable expression here. You are passing a variable expression here. Variable expression here. Ideally, the output is going to be different. But when I ask you about the compile time issues, if you face any compile time issues, you will not face the compile time issues. That is what the takeaway here is. Run this code, it will get executed, compiled and executed successfully. Java C space a.java, Java space a. Right? So the next takeaway is what? Okay. The case. We are talking about the case. Okay. Please be informed that you can place a constant expression next to the cases. Next to the cases. Okay. The variable expression is not allowed. Is not allowed. The constants are like 100, 200, something like a direct characters. And you can also take this as integer, final integer a equal to 900. Here the a is what? A is constant. Variable a is constant. Final means constant. It is final. It is fixed. It will be treated as a constant. Here a is right. Third takeaway. And the fourth one is you are placing something like break here. I can conclude that the break statement is what? A break statement is an optional one. Please be informed that it is an optional one. The break, I can say that the break statement. Okay, and the fifth case. What you have case 1, case 2. You have so default, for the default there will be no case. Okay, so this is the mistake that I have done. Okay, this default keyword is also an optional. You can either use the default thing or you don't use it, but for the compiler there is no issues. It has no issues with this. If you're not keeping it also, no problem. I can say that the default keyword is also an optional. So this is the complete postmortem. But is also an step. Okay. There will be no issues from the compilation side. Issues from the compiler. Okay. What else we have to understand? The expression we got to know. Okay, it has to be what? It has to be, it can be constant or variable expression, but the accepted data types are this. Okay, then what else we need to discuss? Okay, one more thing I need to explain you. If in the interview room, if they are asking a question like integer a equal to 100, okay, and you have this switch expression, you have this switch expression, you just have the switch expression and you have the switch block. Okay, they will ask you, okay, will I get any compile time error or not? So this is the question in the interview room. They would ask you, will I get any compile? The questions will be like, okay, do you get first question is compilation error. Okay, second one is blank output. Okay, the third one is what? 100. And the fourth one is none of the above. What would be your answer? Tell me. Think that this is an interview, then answer this to me. Any idea? Okay. So you might be thinking, sir, according to the syntax, we think that it is invalid because you have said that syntax says that there should be a switch statement and there is a switch block. Inside this, you need to place the cases. Okay, but I haven't placed any cases here. The switch block is completely empty here. Okay. So I am also saying that it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory to keep the cases. Okay. Even though not keeping the cases, the compiler will not give you any problem. Okay. The compiler will compile this successfully without no issues. But ideally we are not going to keep this, but from the compiler's perspective we need to understand, will it raise error or not? Okay, let me execute this java c space a.java java spaces. So we are getting what? The blank output. Can I say that the output is what? Blank output. Are you understanding this? Yes, no? Can I get yes from everyone?
Yes.
So there is no
Yes.
issues with the compiler, but it is very ridiculous. No one is going to write a code with by using the switch statement and keeping the block empty. No one is going to do that. But we are trying to understand it from the compiler perspective, whether the compiler is going to give error or not. That we are trying to understand. Okay, now the very important question. Okay, the interview question. Okay, this has been asked in the not hacker rank, the certification examinations. Let us see who is going to answer this. Okay, pay some attention. I am going to keep some cases. Case 100, a plus equal to 1, a plus equal to 100. Okay, system dot out dot println. Okay, I want to print it. Okay, case 200. Okay, let me keep the value simple. A plus equal to 10, a plus equal to 10. I want to print the value of a. Okay, and again I am taking the same case 300. Okay, I want to print the value of a. Okay, what else I can keep? Okay, I want to keep a default case. I want to print the value of a. Okay, now tell me what would be the answer. Think and tell me.
10, 10, 10A.
Are you sure? What about others? Let me check the answer. Are you doing it? Do you want me to solve? Everyone? Are you doing it or are you waiting for me to do? Answer. Shall we do? Shall we do it together? Yes, no? Okay, this is syntax errors. Wait. Be semicolon. It should be semicolon. Should be semicolon. Be semicolon. Let me take this as case 300. Case 100 I have, case 200 I have, case 300 I have. Okay, I have an expression like this. I have an expression like this. Right, let me check. So we are getting what? 110, 120, 130, 130. Are you there with me, everyone? Why are you not answering? Are you there with me, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now focus here, guys. And now let me try to trace this. Why we are getting this answer? Now focus here. If you understand this, we have understood the switch statement completely. Let us try to understand this. Let's try to trace this completely. Let me delete this. So now see, we know that the main thread gets created, the main thread gets access to the main method, it will execute all the instructions, okay? So what is the first instruction? A equal to 100, integer A equal to 100. So somewhere in the memory, the value 100 is getting assigned to the variable A. Okay, this is what happening behind this is the first line. Okay, the first line has got executed successfully. The first line has got executed successfully. So what is the second line? Guys. Okay, what is the second line? Second line switching to the variable A. So what is the value inside the A? 100. So 100 is a value inside the A. Okay, 100. Right. So this 100 will be mapped to the exact case, isn't it? 100 is going to get mapped to the exact case. This is the exact case, right? Okay. So the case has to get executed. This case has to get executed. 100 has mapped here. So what is the instruction? What is the first instruction that we have? The first instruction, okay, this case will be executed, and the first instruction is what? A plus equal to 10. A plus equal to 10, which is also equal to A equal to A plus 10. Right? So what is the value inside the A in the memory? 100, right? So again, just evaluate the right hand side. Evaluate the right hand side. So right hand side is going to give what? 100 plus 10. Okay, the resultant value 110. Resultant value 110 will be assigned to the variable. Okay, in the memory, 100 will be replaced what? Replaced by 110, because that is the latest value. Right? Then the next instruction will get executed. What is the next instruction? System.out.println, print the value of A. What is the value inside the A? 110. So in the console, 110 will be displayed first. But you are not using the break statement here. When you are not using the break statement, obviously the remaining consecutive case is going to get executed, right? So case 200, it will go inside the case 200. Why you are not using the break statement here? Again, in the case 200, the first instruction is A plus equal to 10. Okay, when I say A plus equal to 10, A equal to A plus 10. Okay, what is the latest value of A? 110, right? So 110 plus 10 is equal to going to be what? 120. This 120 is going to get assigned to what? A. Okay, in the memory, the 110 becomes now 120. Okay, after manipulating the changes, okay, the very next instruction is again you are printing system.out.println the value of A. What is the value of latest value of A? 120. Okay, 120 will be printed in the console. So memory wise there are some changes, and the console wise there are some things that you are going to see. So what is the next thing? Again here you are not using the break statement. Okay, it will come to the next line, case 300. First instruction is what? Again A plus equal to 10. A plus equal to 10. When I say A plus equal to 10, A equal to A plus 10. This is some similar to this one. Both are same. A plus equal to 10 is similar as A equal to A plus 10. So what is the latest value of A? 120 here. A equal to 120 plus 10. 120 plus 10 is going to get evaluated to be what? 130. Right? So in the memory, the A gets assigned to the latest value, what? 130. Okay. And the next one, what? Next one is what? Since you are not using break statement, the default case will also get executed. What is the default case value that you want to get executed? Okay, this 130 has to get printed in the console also, right? 130. Because you have system.out.println. The next statement is default case. The default case has to get executed. Right? So what is the latest value inside the variable A? 130 is the latest value that is going to get printed. After this, is there any cases? No cases. Okay, it will be terminated from the switch block, and again there are no statements outside the switch block. The main thread will go back to its original place inside the JVM, and it is going to get destroyed. So what is the latest value that you have got? 100, 120, 130, 130. 100, 120, 130, 130. Are you getting this? Can I get S from everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we do another problem? This is also certification exam. Okay, it will take only 5 minutes. Can you try to answer this? Okay. If you're not able to answer it, I will help you. Try to answer this. Huh? If you understand these two problems, then like you become expert in what understanding the switch statements. You can write any piece of code. I'm taking a string here. Empty string I'm taking. So when I say empty string, a space I'm taking. Okay, I'm taking something like integer b equal to 100. Okay, switch b. Okay, I'm taking some case 100. Okay, now focus a plus equal to, if you have pen and paper, you can solve it very easily. Case 200, I want to take like case 300. I want to take something like Java. Okay, system dot out dot println. Okay, I want to print the a itself. Okay, default system dot println, right? Can you tell me what would be the answer? If you get knocked out of this meeting, please rejoin. We'll discuss this. Okay, this is also an important problem. If you understand this, you can understand.
Empty,
Okay, Auntie, the answer? Anyone?
empty, that's it.
Empty, that's it. What about others? Only Prasanna is answering. Dinesh, Sudhir, Teja, people have to speak, guys. Any idea?
2 minutes.
Okay, then take your time. Think and answer. Think and answer. Okay. Even if you're answering it wrong, also no problem. Take pen and paper and try to do the tracing part.
I like Java, that's it.
Like Java, that's it.
Good. Yes, correct. So this is also asked in the certification exam. I like Java, that's it. Okay, thank you for rejoining. Let us trace this, guys. Okay, let me trace this. Now, usually the main thread gets created. main thread gets access to the main method. Okay, so the beginning things, okay, and the first instruction here. When you see the first instruction, now this time we are using a kind of data type called string data type. So what is it really going to do? Okay, the same thing. The value a will be, the empty string. Okay, you have a space here. You have just kept a space here. So you don't see the space here, but there is a space here. An empty string with a space, with single space. An empty string with a single space will be stored inside the A memory. Right? And what is the next statement? Next statement, you're using what? You're using this. You're using a variable which is what? Integer b equal to 100. Integer b equal to 100. So again, in the memory level, okay, the value 100 is going to get assigned to the variable b. Okay, now the switch is accepting a variable expression which is what? Which is 100. Which is b. B is what? B is what? 100. It is going to find the exact matching of 100. Okay? The exact matching of 100 is already found in the first case, the beginning of the switch block, which is 100. Yes, there is a matching. Okay, now the first thing what you're doing, a plus equal to the I string. Okay, now let us consider this a plus equal to, okay, you are using an I string. It is equivalent to a equal to a plus I. Okay, now you want to find what is it. What is the value inside the A? You have a space here. Okay, so a equal to space plus, you want to do what? You want to concatenate the space with the string I. Space plus I is going to become what? Space I. Space I. So the latest value of A is going to be what? It's just like this. I don't think you remember this. When I do A plus B in Java, it is going to give A. When I say Balaji plus faculty, okay, it is concatenation will happen inside. So it gives Balaji faculty. Right? Concatenation will happen. Okay, it is going to combine the two strings. Same thing is happening here. Two strings are getting combined. One is the empty string followed by the I string, a string with the I. It gives what? Space I. Okay, the space I will be stored in the memory. Okay, space I will be stored in the memory. Now next case is what? Next case is what? Okay, there is, you are not using the break statement. So directly case 200. Inside the case 200, you are doing again what? A plus equal to like. Okay. A plus equal to like. I have kept a space here intentionally. It is equivalent to A equal to A plus like. What is the value of A in the memory? I. Okay, you have what? You have space I concatenated with space like. Two strings are getting concatenated. The resultant string is going to be what? I space like. This I like is going to get assigned to the variable A once again. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, now this becomes what? This becomes I like. Okay, and again, you're not printing anything and there is no break statement. Case 300. Case 300 is inside that A plus equal to Java. A plus equal to space Java. Right? It is similar to A equal to A plus Java. What is the latest value of A? I like is the latest value of A. So you have the string like space I like, okay, plus you have Java. This is going to give you what? Space I like Java. This is the latest value that is going to get assigned to the variable A. Okay, now this becomes like Java. Latest value is what? Like Java. the latest value. Okay, next what you are doing, you are trying to print the value inside the variable A. So what is the latest value inside the variable A? I like Java is the latest value inside the variable B. We have a console, you will see what? You will see I like Java. First thing. Space I like. And what is the next thing that you have? You have the default statement and only one statement you have, that's it. That's it will also be printed. Okay. Are we seeing the same value? See, you are seeing a space in the beginning. I have kept this space intentionally. Okay, because I have taken the empty string as a space string. This is what the output. So this is the kind of problems which you can practice so that you will understand the complete control flow. Okay, all the things that we are learning, we are not learning about the insights. Okay, we are just learning about the control flow. What are the things that this control is going to do whenever each and every instruction is getting executed? There are two major things it is going to do. Either it will do the manipulations in the memory level. There will be some manipulations. You need to trace that. First of all, you need to understand how to trace it. You need to think that what are the things that is happening behind the scenes, and what are the things that is happening in front of you, the values that are going to get displayed on the console. Okay? These two things are happening just because of this control. Just because of this control. And you are controlling this. You are controlling this in such a way that you use this switch statement. Okay, you are transferring accordingly with the respective expression. If this is under your control. The beginning, it will start from the main method. Okay, it will execute all the instructions, but you can control this by using a break statement, by using return statement, by using switch statement. So control is getting transferred according to the instructions. And also, whenever each and every line is executed, either something is happening in the memory or something is happening in the console. Need to focus on both the things. Even though you are not able to see anything in the console, you should also consider what are the things that is happening in the memory level. This tracing is very, very important. Because every time you don't print the details in the console, you will just map it to the respective team. You will give these values to the front end team. They will take care of displaying it to the console. Making sense? That's why I always ask you to take pen and paper and do this kind of tracing. Only if you do this in practice, you will remember this, or else it will create a lot of confusion. Only these two problems will ensure that you are understanding the switch statement completely. Try to practice it once again. Okay, tomorrow what we will see is, tomorrow we will understand the nested switch statement. Okay, there is a statement called nested switch, a switch statement inside the switch statement. Okay, after doing that, we will see the remaining concepts like for loops, while loops, and do while loops. Then we will solve a lot of problems. Okay, pattern printing patterns in the console. We will discuss about arrays also. So fundamentals of Java will be completed within 7 days. Then you will start OOPS concept. Okay.